It happens in the elevator, or the break room, or the queue at the grocery store. Someone turns to you and says, "Some weather we're having, huh?" And you feel it, a physical tightening in your chest, a glazing over of your eyes, a desperate desire to be anywhere else. You aren't being rude. You aren't antisocial. You are simply allergic to the script. To the rest of the world, these little exchanges are the social glue that holds society together. To you, they are social styrofoam filler material that occupies space but contains no substance. You don't hate talking. In fact, you could talk for 6 hours straight about death, aliens, or the nature of consciousness. You hate acting. You hate the feeling of being a robot exchanging pre-programmed lines with another robot. You are a depth seeker trapped in a shallow water world. To the small talkers, the people who treat conversation as a casual game of tennis, your behavior is confusing, perhaps even offensive. They view your silence or your abrupt answers as arrogance. They think, "I'm just being nice. Why are they so cold?" They do not understand that for you, "How are you?" is not a greeting. It is a question that demands a real answer. And when you are forced to give the fake answer good, you feel a micro betrayal of your own integrity. They do not understand that you experience small talk not as a warm-up, but as an obstacle. It is the moat you have to swim across to get to the castle of connection. And you are tired of swimming. Today, we are going to dissect the behavior of the depth hunter. We will look past the label of introvert and examine the psychology of communicative efficiency, the neuroscience of the dopamine of novelty, and why your brain treats scripted conversations as cognitive junk food. We will explore why you are labeled as intense, why you struggle in corporate networking, events, and why you are the person who asks, "What are you afraid of?" on a first date. We will validate your hunger for the real and explain why your refusal to engage in the weather report is actually a sign of high social idealism. If you have ever felt physically drained by a 5-minute conversation about nothing, this analysis is for you. Let's begin by validating the physical reality of the script fatigue. Small talk is algorithmic. Person A, "How's your week?" Person B, "Busy, but good." Yours? Person A, "Same. Can't wait for the weekend." Person B, "Totally." For you, this exchange triggers script fatigue. Your brain recognizes the pattern instantly. It knows exactly what is going to be said before it is said. Because there is no new information being exchanged, your brain disengages. You feel a sense of autopilot dissociation. You hear your own voice saying the lines, "Crazy weather," and you feel like a ventriloquist's dummy. This creates a sense of existential dread. You think, we are two conscious beings on a rock floating through space, and we are talking about the humidity? The gap between the miracle of existence and the banality of the conversation creates a vertigo that makes you want to run away. You aren't bored. You are understimulated. Your brain is a high-performance engine that needs high-octane fuel, ideas, feelings, truths. Small talk is putting water in the gas tank. It stalls the engine. This brings us to the hidden pattern, the craving for high-bandwidth communication. Small talk is low bandwidth. It transfers very little data per minute. It is mostly noise, filler, and safety signaling. You crave high bandwidth connection. You want to know, what keeps you up at night? What do you love? What is your relationship with your mother? This is the dive. The small talker likes to wade in the shallows. They need to test the water temperature, safety, before going deeper. You want a cannonball into the deep end immediately. This is a difference in social velocity. You want to get to the core instantly. You view the warm-up as a waste of time. This behavior is often driven by a sense of mortality awareness. You are acutely aware that time is limited. You don't have time to pretend to care about someone's commute. You want the real. You are filtering for authenticity. When someone drops the script and says something real, honestly, I'm having a terrible week. Your ears perk up. Your eyes light up. You lean in. Tell me about it. Suddenly, you are the best listener in the world. You don't hate talking, you hate lying. And to you, small talk feels like a polite, socially mandated lie. Let's expand on the deep psychological expansion of the authenticity scanner. Why does the question, "What do you do?" make you cringe? Because it is a status query. It is a way of placing you in a hierarchy. You are interested in the soul, not the role. You operate on a human-to-human frequency, not a persona-to-persona frequency. When you are at a party, you are constantly scanning for other depth hunters. You look for the person in the corner who looks bored. You look for the person who isn't laughing at the fake jokes. You are looking for the glitch. You love it when someone breaks the social rules. You love the awkward moment. You love the overshare. Why? Because the glitch reveals the human underneath the programming. You are an essentialist. You want the essence of the person. Small talk obscures the essence. It wraps the person in layers of politeness and convention. You feel like you are trying to unwrap a gift that has 50 layers of paper and you just want to rip it all off to see what's inside. This makes you intense. People often describe you as heavy or serious, but you aren't grim. You are just unwilling to play the game of let's pretend. You want to play the game of let's be. But this hunger for depth comes with adult consequences. The world runs on grease, and small talk is the grease. Networking is your nightmare. You walk into a room full of people wearing name tags, holding warm wine, asking, "Who are you with?" and you feel your soul withering. You struggle to work the room. While others are happily exchanging business cards and pleasantries, you are stuck in a corner having a 45-minute conversation with one person about the ethics of AI. You leave with one contact, the schmoozer leaves with 20. You pay a volume tax. You have fewer connections because making a connection requires a massive energy investment from you. You can't just breeze through. If you can't go deep, you don't go at all. This can hurt your career. The corporate world values the agreeable, frictionless communicator. You are the high-friction, high-value communicator. You are great in the crisis meeting. You are terrible at the happy hour. Your boss might say, "You need to be more of a team player," which is code for "you need to pretend to care about my golf game." There is also the social snobbery trap. We have to be honest. You can come across as arrogant when someone tries to talk to you about the Kardashians and you check out. You are signaling, "This is beneath me." You might not mean to, but you are. This creates distance. People feel judged by you. They feel like they have to be smart or deep to be worthy of your attention. This puts pressure on your friends. They might think, "I can't just relax with him. I have to be profound." Sometimes people just want to talk about the weather because it's easy. It's safe. Your refusal to meet them there can be seen as a form of intellectual elitism. You might find yourself isolated, not because people don't like you, but because they find you high effort. Talking to you is a workout. Sometimes people just want a walk in the park, not a climb up Everest. This leads to the internal conflict recognition. You wrestle with alienation. You look around at a group of people laughing about nothing, and you feel like a different species. You think, why is this so easy for them? Why is this so hard for me? Am I missing the gene for casual? You worry that you are broken. You worry that you are incapable of simple, lighthearted joy. You wonder if your need for depth is actually a defense mechanism. Am I hiding behind deep talk because I'm afraid of just being present? Am I using intellect to avoid intimacy? Because real intimacy isn't just trauma dumping and philosophy. Sometimes real intimacy is just sitting together and talking about a sandwich. You struggle to value the mundane. You want every scene of your life to be the climax of the movie. But life is mostly the scenes in between. You are constantly waiting for the real conversation to start, missing the fact that the small talk is the conversation happening right now. You feel a chronic sense of waiting waiting for the person to stop talking about their diet, waiting for the meeting to end, waiting for the masks to drop. And when they don't, you feel starved. You can be surrounded by people all day and come home feeling completely empty because you consumed 0 calories of genuine connection. Let's pause the self-judgment. We need to validate the sonar strategy. Your behavior is not a defect. It is a sophisticated filtering mechanism. You are using conversation as sonar. You ping the environment. If you get a surface echo back, you keep moving. If you get a deep echo back, you stop and invest. This protects your energy. You only have so much emotional capital. You refuse to spend it on dead stocks. You are saving it for the unicorns, the people who can meet you in the deep. And when you find them, you are the most loyal, engaged, and fascinating friend they will ever have. You are not bad at socializing. You are specialized in intimacy. You are a sniper, not a shotgun. The world needs snipers. The world needs people who are willing to ask the hard questions and sit in the uncomfortable silences. You are the one who breaks the spell of the superficial, and that is a valuable, if difficult, role to play. In the next part, we are going to explore the tactics of the depth hunter. We will look at how to hack small talk to make it big, the 4 technique modification. We will discuss the specific power of the why question. We will explore how to survive the office party without hiding in the bathroom. And we will move from the frustration of the shallow to the strategy of the deep. We have established that your hatred of small talk is actually a hunger for substance. But you cannot simply opt out of society. You cannot walk around with a sign that says, "Do not disturb unless you want to discuss." The Fermi paradox, you have to navigate the world of elevators, waiting rooms, and Zoom calls. The goal is not to endure these interactions. The goal is to transform them. You must become a conversational alchemist. You must learn the specific tactical skills to turn the lead of small talk into the gold of real connection. This brings us to the pivot technique. The mistake most depth hunters make is waiting for the other person to go deep. They won't. They are following the standard social script. You have to break the script, but you cannot break it with a sledgehammer asking, "Do you believe in God?" at the water cooler. You have to use a bridge. When someone asks, "How was your weekend?" do not say good. Say, "It was actually really restorative. I've been trying to get better at doing nothing," which is surprisingly hard. Do you find it hard to just sit still? Analyze this move. You answered the question. It was restorative. You offered a vulnerability. I struggle with doing nothing. You pivoted to a universal human experience, the struggle to rest. Now, the other person cannot use the autopilot response. They have to think. You have forced them off the script. Most people will be relieved. They will say, "Oh my God, yes, I feel guilty every time I sit down." Boom. You are now in a real conversation about guilt, productivity, and modern life. You did this in 10 seconds. This is the 10% upgrade. You take the mundane prompt and add 10% of depth to it. It's enough to invite them in, but not enough to scare them away. This leads to the Trojan horse of vulnerability. We learned in the silence script that questions are a shield. In the small talk script, vulnerability is a hook. If you want the other person to be real, you go first. This is the law of reciprocity. If you stay at the surface, they stay at the surface. If you drop a little deeper, they will feel permission to drop deeper. When someone complains about the rain, don't say, "Yeah, it sucks." Say, "I actually love it. It gives me an excuse to stay inside and not feel FOMO. I get weirdly anxious when it's sunny." You have offered a Trojan horse, a small personal truth wrapped in a casual comment. You are signaling, it is safe to be real here. You are establishing the no bullshit zone. You will be amazed at how quickly people respond to this. People are starving for permission to drop the act. When you drop yours, you give them the key to their own cage. We must also master the why function. Small talk is usually about what where, and when. What do you do? Where do you live? When did you get here? These are fact questions. Facts are boring. You need to switch to motivation questions. Switch to why and how. Instead of what do you do, ask what's the best part of your job? Or how did you end up in that field? Instead of where are you from? What's the biggest difference between there and here? You are asking for analysis, not data. You are asking them to access their values. The best part of my job is the problem solving. Now you can ask, oh, so you like puzzles? What kind of puzzles? You are following the thread of enthusiasm. Everyone is enthusiastic about something. Even the most boring accountant loves something. Maybe it's their garden. Maybe it's their dog. Maybe it's Excel spreadsheets. Your job is to find the thread and pull it. Once they start talking about what they love, the small talk evaporates. Their eyes light up. The robot voice disappears. You have hacked the interaction. But what if you are stuck? This brings us to the anthropologist mindset. Sometimes you are stuck with someone who refuses to go deep. They answer with one word. They stick to the weather. This is painful for you. You must switch gears. You stop trying to connect and start trying to observe. You treat this person as a fascinating specimen of the small talker species. Why are they so guarded? What are they protecting? Look at how they hold their drink. You detach, you become a scientist. This removes the irritation. You are no longer failing to connect. You are succeeding at observing. You play a game called Find the Hidden Drama. You look for the clues in their boring story. They mention they went to their in-laws. They look slightly tense when they say it. Aha, there is drama there. You don't have to pry, but knowing it's there makes the conversation interesting to you. You are reading the subtext. Small talk is the text. The reality is the subtext. If you focus on the subtext, you will never be bored. This leads to the exit strategy. The fear of small talk is often the fear of entrapment. You are afraid you will be stuck talking about golf for 40 minutes. You need a clean exit. The depth hunter needs to master the positive out. You don't need an excuse, bathroom, refill, drink. You just need a summary statement. Well, it sounds like you've got a busy week ahead. I'm going to circulate, grab some food, but it was great to hear about your project. Analyze this. Summary. I heard you. Declaration of intent. I am moving. Positive close. It was great. You say this while physically taking a step back. The step back signals to their reptilian brain that the engagement is over. Knowing you can leave at any time makes the conversation bearable. You are not a hostage, you are a tourist. You are just visiting this conversation, and you can catch the flight home whenever you want. We also need to reframe the boring person. Here's a hard truth. There are no boring people. There are only boring questions. If you think someone is boring, it is a failure of your interrogation skills. Every human being has had their heart broken, lost a loved one, failed at something, had a secret dream. If you can't get to that, that is on you. This is the journalist challenge. Pretend you have to write a profile on this person for a magazine. You have to find the angle. You have to find the thing that makes them unique. Maybe this boring insurance adjuster is a competitive archer on weekends. Maybe this quiet mom used to follow a band across the country. Dig until you hit a rock. If you dig and find nothing, then you can walk away. But usually, you will hit gold right before you give up. This mindset shifts you from passive victim of boredom to active hunter of interest. However, we must address the energy conservation aspect. You cannot do this with everyone. You are not a public utility. Sometimes you just need to survive the Uber ride. In these cases, you use the mirror technique. You simply repeat the last 3 words they said as a question. I went to the mall. The mall? Yeah, to buy shoes. Buy shoes? Yeah, for the wedding. The wedding? My cousin is getting married. You are doing almost zero cognitive work. You are just bouncing the ball back. This satisfies the small talker's need for flow while allowing you to stay in power-saving mode. You can think about your own stuff while your mouth runs the mirror script. This is not fake. It is social efficiency. You are saving your deep energy for the people who deserve it. This leads to the shared experience shortcut. The easiest way to kill small talk is to focus on a third object. Do not talk about each other. Talk about the thing you are both experiencing. The weird art on the wall. The strange music playing. The food. What do you think that painting is supposed to be? Now you are solving a puzzle together. You are engaging in collaborative analysis. This is much more interesting than where are you from? It takes the pressure off the ego. You are not looking at each other. You are looking at the world together. This is the side-by-side dynamic we discussed in the solitude script. It allows for authentic reactions without the intensity of direct eye contact interrogation. Use the environment as your prop. Be the two critics in the gallery, even if the gallery is just a conference room with a broken projector. In the next part, we will move to the integration. We will look at how to build a small talk-free life. We will explore the deep dinner party concept, how to host events that ban small talk. We will discuss how to signal your nature to attract other depth hunters, the bat signal. And we will close with a validation that your refusal to skim the surface is what makes you a guardian of the deep. We have arrived at the final frontier, integration. We have validated your hatred for the shallow and armed you with the tactics to survive it. But survival is not enough. You want to thrive. You want to build a life where deep connection is the default, not the exception. The goal is to curate a social reality where you don't have to fight for depth, where it is built into the architecture of your relationships. You are moving from being a small talk victim to being a deep talk architect. This brings us to the protocol of the Jeffersonian dinner. If you hate small talk, you must stop attending cocktail parties and start hosting Jeffersonian dinners. The cocktail party is designed for small talk. You stand up, you mingle, you have 20 fragmented conversations. It is hell. The Jeffersonian dinner is designed for big talk. The rules are simple. One conversation. Everyone at the table talks about the same topic at the same time. No side conversations. The question. You pose a single deep question at the start. Example. What is a belief you held 5 years ago that you've completely changed your mind about? This structure kills small talk instantly. It forces everyone into the deep end together. You are the curator. You control the depth. You will see the relief on people's faces. They are tired of the weather too. They are desperate to tell their real stories. By creating the container, you allow them to pour out their substance. You become the social hub for the other depth hunters in your circle. This leads to the polarization strategy, the bat signal. You are afraid that if you are too intense, you will scare people away. You need to reframe this. Scaring people away is the point. You want to repel the small talkers so you can attract the deep talkers. You need to emit a strong signal. If you answer, "How are you?" with, "Honestly, I'm struggling with a sense of purpose this week," you are polarizing the room. 50% of people will recoil. They will think you are too much. Good. They are not your people. You have saved yourself months of wasted coffee dates. The other 50% will lean in. They will say, "Me too." These are your people. This is efficient filtering. By being authentically heavy or weird or intense right out of the gate, you act as a magnet for your tribe and a repellent for the Taurus. Do not dim your signal to fit in. Amplify your signal to be found. We must also look at the professional essentialist. How do you integrate this into your career without being the weirdo in the break room? You become the no-nonsense strategist. In meetings, you are the one who cuts through the fluff. While everyone is bike shedding about the color of the logo, you ask, why are we doing this project? What is the core objective? You use your intolerance for small talk as a business asset. You are the one who values time and truth. Your colleagues will learn that you don't chat about sports, but when there is a crisis, you are the one with the clearest head. You brand yourself as high signal, low noise. People respect this. They stop coming to you for gossip, which you hate, and start coming to you for advice, which you love. You trade popularity for respect. For the depth hunter, this is a profitable trade. This brings us to the intimacy fast track. In dating, you have a massive advantage. The dating world is a swamp of small talk. What's your favorite food? Do you like hiking? You can cut through this like a hot knife through butter. You play the 36 questions game based on the Arthur Aaron study on closeness. You suggest, let's skip the resume exchange. Ask me something real. You ask, what is your most terrible memory? When did you last cry? This is high risk, but it yields high reward. You can achieve in 2 hours what most couples achieve in 2 months. You are creating accelerated intimacy. You are looking for the person who can handle the G-force of your emotional speed. If they bail, they weren't the one. If they stay, you have found a partner who speaks your language. We also need to address the silence as connection. We touched on this in previous scripts, but it is crucial here. The antidote to small talk is not always deep talk. Sometimes it is silence. The person who hates small talk usually loves companionable silence. You need to normalize this with your friends. I don't have anything to say right now, but I love sitting here with you. You take the pressure off. Small talk is often just noise to prevent silence. If you remove the fear of silence, you remove the need for small talk. You build relationships where you can just be. This is the highest form of connection. It is telepathic comfort. It implies we are safe enough that we don't need to perform. This leads to the curiosity discipline. You have to accept that sometimes you must engage in small talk, for example, with your grandmother or a cashier. In these moments, you practice radical curiosity. You challenge yourself to find the depth in the shallow. The cashier is talking about the rain. You think, why does the rain matter to her? Is she worried about her garden? Is she sad? You treat the mundane as a code for the profound. You become a poet of the ordinary. You realize that small talk is often just big talk in disguise. How are you? Is code for I acknowledge your existence. Crazy weather is code for we are both subject to forces beyond our control. When you hear the code, you stop hating the signal. You appreciate the effort. You see the humanity trying to reach out across the void, even if they are using a clumsy tool. Finally, we arrive at the grounded, hopeful closure. What is the ultimate role of the person who hates small talk? You are the guardian of meaning. We live in a world of infinite distraction and surface-level noise. We are drowning in data, but starving for wisdom. You are the one who refuses to settle for the data. You are the one digging for the wisdom. You remind us that we are not robots processing inputs. We are souls carrying burdens, dreams, and fears. By refusing to play the game of fine, thanks, you force us to look at what is actually happening. You force us to look at the truth. So, the next time you are in an elevator and the silence stretches, do not feel awkward. Feel solid. Smile a real smile, not a polite one. If you speak, say something true. If you don't speak, let the silence speak. You are the anchor in the drift. You are the diver in the shallows. Keep diving. The treasure is down there.